Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to rank the set 46 through set 50 headliners featured cards. We're going to rank them 1 through 5. I've given all 5 of the cards a true review in the past. I'm going to put the card for each of those videos in this video if you want a more in-depth review of the cards. I'm going to go over each of the cards a little bit and why I put them in the position that I put them in. Before we get into that, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you know whenever I'm uploading more videos, as well as share the video with your friends or anybody else you know that plays MLB The Show. That way we can continue to grow the channel. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5. Starting off the list in the 5th spot is Duke Snyder. He's a center fielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. It's his signature series card. He's 99 overall. Left-handed batting, right-handed throwing, secondary positions of left field and right field. Guys, when I did his true review a few days ago, maybe a week ago now, maybe 2 weeks ago now, time flies, who knows. I talked about how if this card came out early in the year, he would be amazing because he has a glitchy swing. He'd be mashing even left-handed pitching with the 93 contact, 83 power. And he has pretty decent vision, but now in the game, the outfield is so loaded and stacked, this Duke Snyder just really doesn't have a spot. I mean, even as a platoon guy that mashes righties, I'd use other cards over this Duke Snyder. You guys can't even argue that he's a top 15 outfielder in the game this year. He has decent speed, decent defense. Just not that great compared to what is going on in the game right now. Yeah, he's a 99 overall, but when he's an XP reward like he was last year and you can get him early in the game, he's a difference maker. Now he's just too late. I don't really think that he's worth anything. He's definitely not worth whatever his price is on the market. Unless you're like a Dodgers fan trying to make a Dodgers theme team, then I guess Duke Snyder might be the answer. But for the most part, this Duke Snyder is not even close to the other 4 cards on this list. And that's why he's coming in at the 5th spot here. If you really want to pick up Duke Snyder and you want to know what his purpose is, I'd say he's a platoon outfielder that's going to hit right-handed pitching well. I would take him out of the lineup against lefties. There's better guys out there. And he's really not defensively that great. 74 speed is actually pretty slow this year when it comes to outfielders. There's so many great fast outfielders that I would take over this Snyder. It just lands him at 5th on this list. Coming in at number 4. At the 4 spot, we have the 99 overall first baseman for the Colorado Rockies, Todd Helton. Signature series. He's left-handed batting, left-handed throwing. He only plays first base, no secondary positions, unfortunately. He was on the Colorado Rockies his entire career. He didn't play anywhere else. And some of the knocks he had within his career was that he played in Coors Field the entire time. Looking at his attributes, as we went over in a previous video, he is a great contact hitter, has a very smooth, glitchy swing, good vision, decent power, doesn't have the best power against lefties at only 81 power, and he's an above-average fielder at first base. He's also 6'2", so he has a little bit of that bigger frame. So he's definitely above average with the glove, a great contact hitter, not the best power hitter for a first baseman. First base, there's a plethora of cards that you can have for free. So the fact that you have to pay about $50K for Todd Helton makes it a little bit not advantageous. And if you really want a Todd Helton card, you can pick up his, I believe he's a 91 or 93 overall Todd Helton card that was the first inning boss that you could pick up for about $20K less. And he has about the same attributes. This signature series is definitely a better card, but it's not so much significantly better that it's worth the extra $20K when you can invest in essentially another card plus that Todd Helton if you really want to play with Todd Helton. I don't think he's a top 5 first baseman in the game, and that's what's putting him 5th on this list out of reviewing the 46 through 50 headliners here. Coming in at number 3. In the 3 spot, we have the hard-throwing lefty. That's a Future Stars card, 98 overall, Jesus Lazardo for the Oakland Athletics. As I've already mentioned, he's left-handed throwing. He also bats left-handed. He has a 5-pitch repertoire that has a curveball, sinker, changeup, 4-seam fastball, and slider. His primary pitch is not a 4-seam fastball. It is a curveball. Lazardo's getting the bump here at 3 because he's a starting pitcher and he's left-handed. If he was a right-handed starting pitcher, he'd probably finish at 5th on the list. Like, that's how close this list really was when making it. He also has great attributes, minus his stamina being a little bit low and his K per 9 is not that high. but the hits at 104 for a starting pitcher are very good. They're actually, I believe, top 5 or so in the game when it comes to his hits per 9. Definitely top 5 for left-handed pitchers. I think the only left-handed pitcher I can name off the top of my head that has a better hits per 9 than he does is Newhouser. And obviously, as everyone knows, Newhouser is one of the best lefties in the game. Brendan McKay might have a higher hits per 9 than Lazardo does here, but I don't think so. Prestiged Al Leiter might. But for the most part, he has one of the best hits per 9 for a starting left-handed pitcher. And that's a big factor because right now, everybody has amazing lineups when it comes to hitters. Everybody has amazing pitchers when it comes to hits per 9. It's really pick your flavor of the month for these starting pitchers. I think Lazardo's an arm you won't see as often as some other guys, and because of that, it makes his value a little bit higher. He does have a little bit of downside when it comes, like I said, to his stamina. He only has 95 stamina. That's a little bit low for an elite starting pitcher, but I do like the hits per 9, as I've mentioned probably like 3 times now. Has a decent K per 9 at 98. He's coming in at 3 on this list. I check out this card if you haven't got him yet. He's about 35K. If you want to buy now, I think you probably get him for like 32 or 31 if you put in a buy order. Once again, he's actually less expensive than his prospect card is, which is kind of weird because there's like a 10 overall difference. And I really like the prospect card that Lazardo has. Going to be doing some more with the prospect team when it comes to gameplay, especially with the headliners and everything else slowing down and actually being done for the year. But he pitched the game in that prospect ranked seasons theme team that I played with, and he was pretty lights out. Good left-handed pitcher. He kind of changed my mind a little bit. He'd probably be a little bit low on this list if I didn't get to pitch with him a few times. And I'm really liking his wind-up, the way he throws, the movement of his pitches. I think he's a very good left-handed pitcher. Coming in at number 2. In the second spot, we have 99 overall, Royce Lewis, future star shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. As well as playing shortstop, he can pretty much play everywhere else on the field. He can play second base, third base, left field, center field, and right field. The super utility guy, I personally think he's the best utility player in the game. I know there's been some arguments, whether it will be in Facebook groups or I think some guys on the channel have maybe mentioned that there's some other options. Obviously, Ben Zobrist comes to mind as like the utility guy. And then some other people had mentioned like Carlos Santana because he can play that catcher. He can obviously play first base, third base. I don't really consider him a utility guy. I can't think of anybody else that's like a real utility guy. I think Royce Lewis is the best one. I guess actually J-Ram Jose Ramirez, the 99 overall that you get in the prestige reward path, is a pretty good option, but he's a lot slower than this Lewis is. So this puts him as the top tier utility guy in the entire game. This is a guy that I'm not sure if he's worth his price depending on what your team looks like because I don't know how much you'll actually use him, but he is fast enough to be a pinch runner at 90 speed and then be a defensive sub for pretty much anywhere on the field if you need it. I wouldn't really recommend like right field. I don't think he has like a super cannon. But let's say you're struggling with Reggie Jackson or whoever you have in right field that game. You want to put him in right field and pinch hit for that right fielder, or you want to do a double switch. This is probably your guy when it comes to having the super utility and still getting good value out of it. If he comes up to bat in the game, he can still be used. He can even be used as a pinch hitter against lefties. I'm actually really like this card. The only reason he's not at the number 1 spot is because I think you guys already know who it is. And they dropped that huge bomb yesterday that I think there's no argument that guy's probably in the number 1 spot. So Lewis on a normal headliners ranked list, he'd probably be number 1 to be honest. He offers amazing utility, has good attributes, can play all over the field. This is kind of one of those guys that you just kind of look for. He also fits right into that like little future stars team niche. If you want to have a bunch of speedsters on your team that are future stars card, because if you look at it, you can play with an all future stars team and everybody has like 85 plus speed, and they all can kind of hit, they all can field. That can cause a lot of havoc when you're playing against guys. It makes you very good defensively because of all the speed. Plus, you get a base hit, you can turn it into 2, you can steal. It causes a lot of problems playing against guys. It can be irritating. It's kind of like using a speed demon type of team in like Madden or FIFA or NHL where everyone's just flying around and it makes it hard for your opponent to deal with. So I really like the card. That's why he's coming in at number 2 on the list. Coming in at number 1. I think it was already kind of foreshadowed that Max Scherzer was going to be number one on this list, especially if you watch the Chewy review I did yesterday that pretty much said he was the best headliner that came out all year. I think this one's obvious. He has the best hits per nine that we've seen in a starting pitcher in the headliners. He has a great K per nine, and I think it's the highest that isn't a relief pitcher in the headliners. Has a good 103 stamina. He has a great pitch repertoire, four-seam fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, cutter. It is his 2017 99 overall Cy Young card, or what people like to call the awards series because it is an awards card. He was a starting pitcher for the Washington Nationals. He does have that 5-pitch repertoire, right-handed throwing. Like I said, check out the in-depth true review I did yesterday on this guy. He's an absolute monster. He's going to cause a lot of problems. His live series causes a lot of problems in the beginning of the years. He's considered one of the best pitchers in the game. A lot of people use this guy up into the middle part of the game. Like, people were still using him as one of their top 5 starting pitchers as live series maybe a month and a half ago. So it's one of those things where you get an upgraded super version of that Max Scherzer, he's going to cause problems. And I don't think there's any argument that he's number one on this list. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. But I think we'll actually be unanimous on the channel here when it comes to number one. So we might want to discuss 2 through 5, not number one. But if you really think number one's not what it should be, let me know in the comments down below. We can talk about it. Well, guys, the end has had to come at some point in time. This will be the last video of MLB The Show 20 that deals with headliners. As I've already mentioned, San Diego Studios said no more headliners are coming out. They said there will be some sort of headliners bundle pack that will come out in a little bit, I suppose. However, no more Chewy reviews on the headliners. We'll do Chewy reviews on anything else that comes out 100%. And this is the last of these ranked lists for headliners. Let me know what you guys think about this ranked list. What you guys think about headliners going away. If you guys think it's going to hurt the market. If you think it's going to hurt the game at all. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and share this video. You guys have a great day and be safe.